What is going on, guys? Sonic and the Bean Show here. Today we're looking at the brand new Jada Toys Cheetos Chester Cheetah action figure. This is without a doubt one of the most random and coolest things I've seen, man. I would have never thought to have a Chester Cheetah action figure in my collection. Whoever thought of this is a genius, first of all, but this is just so wild to see. Now, I do remember this first being shown off at San Diego Comic-Con last year. I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and now seeing it here in person got me pretty excited here. So let's take a look at the packaging. So the front of the box is, well, it's really what you would see in like a Cheetos bag, really. Like, it's really the exact same image right there, except we have like action figure 13 plus and then, you know, the warnings right there. But that is really cool to see. Here is the top of the box. We just got the Cheetos logo, and then nothing going on with the bottom right there. Here's this side. We got our action figure facts, which is cool. And then there's the figure with the accessories going on there. Here is the other side. We got an image of the figure again. And then here is the back. So we got like an artwork right here. And then the slogan that says, "It's not easy being cheesy." But we do have the open flap, and that reveals the figure and then all of the accessories right there. And that looks really, really cool. And then of course we got an artwork of Chester right there. Wow, this is so cool to see, man. But that right there was the packaging. So without further ado, let's go ahead and crack this out of the box and take a closer look. Okay, so here's the figure out of the packaging right here, and I gotta say, this is actually a really fun figure. Like, I actually do love this figure, man. I was not expecting to be so blown away by what they did here on this figure. And again, it's just a character I never would have thought to see like an action figure form. I just never really thought about it like that. But I will say though, this is actually really good. Like, they captured the way how Chester Cheetah looks right here. Like, having it here in action figure form, man, they did a really phenomenal job right here. Like, I think aesthetically it looks really good. Like, I think it really looks exactly like Chester Cheetah as of what he would look like in action figure form. But even the articulation on this guy is actually pretty good too. Like, I really love a lot of things about this figure. The head sculpts, man, you know, the orange paint going on around here, like, you know, the highlighting you can see here, the spots looking really clean, the whiskers, you know, like, this is a really nice Chester Cheetah action figure. And it's just wild because, I mean, it makes sense on why I would have never thought about this, because, you know, I'm not really big on Cheetos like that. You know, I was always into Doritos. Doritos Cool Ranch was like always my favorite bags of chips. So I wasn't always huge on Cheetos like that, but I appreciate a great action figure right here. Like, they definitely did a phenomenal job on this one. Okay, so here's a closer look at the head sculpt right here, and I think this looks pretty good. You know, it's basically just Chester, you know, cheese in here, but the black lines here for the teeth, I think they're painted pretty well. You can even see it here to the side, you know, it does continue right there. But overall, this head sculpt isn't really too bad. I do like it. Now, you have these whiskers here, which, you know, they look nice on the figure. Mine is warped right here, which is probably going to be my biggest gripe here on the figure, is the whiskers being warped right here. And I have that same issue with the other interchangeable head sculpt. It's like the middle one. But, you know, I think it's just because it's also like really fragile too, which is why I would definitely be careful with these. I feel like these would snap if you're, you know, posing this guy or playing around with him and you accidentally like hit this part really hard. I would really be careful with these whiskers, but they do look pretty nice on the figure though. I will say that the nose looks really good too. You know, the details here, it kind of gives off that the nose is like kind of wet really, but it looks pretty good though. I think the whole snout really looks good, but the head sculpt overall is not bad actually. There's actually like some dry brushing here going on with the orange. It's like actually all over the figure. They did a really nice job with that. And, you know, there's also like some sculpt going on with like the, you know, like the fur kind of coming out like here on the elbows. But you can see the dry brushing for the orange, like the highlights going on here, looks really good. Even the black spots look really clean on this guy too. I think they did a really nice job right here. Now this hand, you can see there's like some Cheeto dust here, which is like really funny to see. It's not on this hand though, mainly because I think he's usually holding you know, the Cheeto in this hand really. but that's really cool right there. And then coming on down, well, I do have a spot right here that's like chipped off really, but you can see the rest. The big boots right here, this man got big feet, as you can see. But the orange, is painted pretty well here too. I don't think it looks too bad. And then here's the bottom of the shoes. You got that going on there, the orange spots. Alright, now let's jump into the accessories. So this is going to be the head you're going to get once you get the figure out of the packaging, and these hands right here. You have like these style posing hands you got here, but the other interchangeable head sculpt you get here is very similar. It's basically just, him with the mouth being closed this time. That's pretty much all there is. They're very similar, but they're still alright. As you can see, like I mentioned, that whisker right there is warped, but it's not as bad as this one is. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is. It's just the mouth being closed. But again, the head sculpts are pretty nice. I think they actually look really, really good. Now, the other accessories you get here are these hands right here. And these are basically hands to hold on to the items that I'm going to show off. But you can see this one has the Cheeto dust, around the fingertips. And then this one doesn't. But these are different. They're not really the same, as you can see. They're actually like different gestures. And the reason why is because he actually comes with a huge Cheeto, which is actually pretty funny. Like a huge Cheeto right here that he can honestly use as a weapon, because it's like pretty like large, as you can see. Like here it is. I can put in his hand right here. Like he can actually use this as a weapon. Like he can really bash someone in the head with this thing. So that's really, really cool that you get that. And then this hand right here is for the Cheetos bag, which is, a replica of an actual Cheetos bag. But they did a really nice job with this one. Like, it is really insane. And there's actually some depth to it, as you can see. Like, it's actually like a, a thick Cheetos bag. And then look at the back right here. Like, it just looks like exactly what you would see at the back of, well, I guess any sort of chips bag really. But that is really, really cool. I really, really like that. And you can actually have him hold on to the Cheetos bag with this hand. So if I just put this here, there you go. Alright, now getting into the articulation. So we do get a double ball peg for the neck, and you can actually get a whole lot of movement from that, which is really good. So to have him look up, he can look up like just about there, honestly. Like, look at that. That is insane right there. And then to look down, you get that much range, which is insane. And you can like even look to the side. Like, that is just really, really cool. And then for your tilts, I mean, he has it, man. He has the tilts going on there. It is just wild. And then, of course, your your full rotation for the head. But for the shoulders, hinge to the shoulders, they basically go on like high up there though. It's just really good. Of course, you have your full rotation there as well. And then for the elbows, we do have our single jointed elbows there, but they have really good range as well. Like, look at that. I wasn't even moving it all the way up, but for single jointed elbows that they can just go up like that though, that is like just incredible, man. And we have a swivel as well right there. And then for the wrist, there is wrist articulation and then your standard horizontal hinge. Now for the torso, there is a ball joint right here, and you can also get some rotation out of that. Of course, you can swivel, but to ab crunch, not the best. You can only just crunch about here, and then back's actually pretty good. I think back is a little bit better than trying to get it to go forward, as you can see. But I mean, it's not really too bad. And then to the side, you get, well, the side's actually pretty good too, so you get that much there. And then on the other side, you got that going on there. So yeah, not too bad. And then for the hips, he can kick forward, well, pretty high too. Yeah, articulation is so far is pretty good on this guy. And then kicking back, pretty good as well. And you can actually move it more if you want to have him kick out to the side. But overall, the hips is actually pretty good. We do have our thigh swivel, as you can see, and then our single jointed knees, and they go just about here. You got that much range. There is rotation there as well. And then for the boot, there is boot rotation, so we have that. And then there's a hinge going on here, so back about there, and then forward just about there, which is okay. I mean, the shoes are pretty big. And then of course you have your ankle rocker there as well. Now the tail, I almost forgot, but the tail, there is a hinge, so you can have it go up or down, It looks like it wants to just go like slide back down for me. It might be loose on mine. But yeah, it basically just hinges up and down though for that. And then you have your rotation going on there, so you can like put this wherever you want really. But overall, I mean, yeah, the articulation is pretty good on this guy. And what's insane is that the hips and then the head being really good. So the ab crunch wasn't the best, but if I do the ab crunch, put the head down, and then, you know, make him, lean forward like this. I mean, look at that. Look at that much range you can do with this guy. Like, he can actually touch, you know, like his shoes right there. Like, that is just wild. Like, look at that. He's standing on his own. I mean, you know, he got big feet, so it makes sense on how he's able to stand well, but most of the weight is going here, so it's just insane how he's still able to stand like that. I don't know. It's just insane to me, man. But, you know, like I said, posing this guy, it's not too bad, honestly. I think you're going to have a lot of fun posing this guy, you know. He's just going to stand out on the shelf, you know. Like, I don't know. It's just a really fun figure to pose around and like kind of like mess around with him with other figures. Like, I really do like this guy. This is actually a really cool action figure. Alright, now for some figure comparisons. I feel like you can pretty much compare him to anything really, but I do want to compare him to some other Jada toy figures. So here we have the Jada Toys Ryu figure right here, and then here is the Count Chocula figure right here. So this is an idea of where you can see where Chester scales right here. So he is shorter than Ryu. So we have that right there. Here he is with some Marvel Legends. So we have the PS5 Game Reverse Peter figure right here. And then here is Miles Morales. I'm still playing a lot of Spider-Man, so I wanted to do this comparison. But yeah, here we have Chester with the Marvel Legends figures right here. So I'll take these out, and then we can compare him to like some other video game figures. So here is the Head Start Toys Crash Bandicoot figure right there, and then here is the SH Figure Arts Mario figure. So yeah, he can still pretty much fit with these two. I mean, you know, it's Chester. I don't know what else to really compare him with really. I'll just kind of compare him with, like, I guess anything that looks cartoon related, I guess. I don't know. And then I want to compare him to maybe like some cartoons. So here is like the SpongeBob Nendoroid right here, and then we have the Yakko figure, the reaction figure by Super 7. And yeah, I mean, again, you can pretty much compare him to pretty much anything, I guess. It's kind of cool to see this because I don't know, I think it's because Chester has like that cartoon look to him along with like the cereal mascot figures. So I don't know, it would be really cool to see Jada Toys do like a cartoon line maybe in the future. I don't know what it would be, honestly. I think Looney Tunes would be cool, but I don't know, maybe some modern cartoon they can do, but it would be like pretty interesting to see, honestly. I don't know. Alright, so that is going to wrap up this review on the Jada Toys Chester Cheetah action figure. This was a lot of fun, man. I definitely enjoyed myself with this figure. It's very wacky, but also pretty sweet at the same time. And it actually makes me want to see them try to do other food mascots. I know that probably sounds weird, but I think after messing around with this figure, it would be pretty cool to see someone else down the line. I mean, they could probably pull like a Ronald McDonald, maybe the Kool-Aid Man, Tony the Tiger. Like, it's just something to think about. But overall, I think the figure is pretty great. You know, the paint job is solid, articulation isn't too bad, he stands fine on his own. It's a really good release in my opinion. But I will say, be very careful with the whiskers because, again, they do seem pretty fragile and they might become warped when you take the figure out of the packaging. So just keep that in mind. But let me know, what are your thoughts on this in the comments down below. If you want to pick this up, it is on Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review. But until then, take care, my friends.